You have heard the conch-shell sound in many houses, and you have heard also that Krishna had a panchajanna and different personalities had different conch-shells. And you have felt that the conch-shell would be a simple thing. But no, there was a time in history when conch-shell was an individual's identity and a calling sound for a particular rituals. Imagine in a locality, when I was a kid, I used to hear conch shells in the morning and entire locality, every single house, and there are different kind of sounds and everything is coming together and creating an harmony. Not only that, and a person behind, just beside our house, he used to play console in a very, very rhythmic fashion. Staircase like, and then rhythmic pulses. So there was a language. It is getting lost as the time passes by, and many people are losing it. But there was a time when there was an intimate relationship of expression of a particular human being, its identity with the council. There are ample evidences. If you go to and this culture is actually coming from Harappan era, in Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and post-Harappan period, until 1500 BC and 2000, you will find that whenever there is a burial, there is a council. So people earlier used to think that council was used for particular rituals. So whenever a person dies, and then they put the council. But that is not true. You will find in Sanauli, near Delhi, in the excavation sites, you will find that there was kind of a trade, and council was connected to it. It means a person used to wear, just like the sacred thread of Brahmins. You know that sacred thread of Brahmins did not belong to Brahmins. Even Kshatriyas had sacred threads. Vaishyas had sacred threads. Sacred thread had different numbers, different length, according to culture and price. Similarly, council had also identity of culture and different sects. So not just call to prayers, it was an individual identity also. The kind of sound they used to take out. So the symbolism that you see, that that only great persons used to have one council, is a totally wrong perception that is surviving. Instead, individuals used to carry a council with them, and there was a call. So I heard a beautiful story in the Himalayas, entire Himalayas region, from Kashmir to the Uttarakhand, and then you go to Darjeeling, and then you go to Arunachal, entire region, in the mountainous region, wherever there was mountainous region in India, they build up a cult, an absolute culture that whenever they had to go for a ritual, they used to play the concert. And when I was kid, I used to see in Bengal a concert is played, and that is the invitation. That was not just a call, that was kind of an invitation. So somebody could come, I hear the concert. Uh, uh, is there a puja in your house? Can I come in? Yes, yes, yes. And I liked there was a Bihari family in front of our house, northeast corner of our house. And Bengalis, Bengali business were always taken over by Biharis, and that's why there was kind of a unrest that you can see. And that point of time, not every people liked them, because they used to quarrel morning to night, and there was a lot of shouting, and then they thought that it is not a good culture. So in Bengali locality, living life for a Bihari was very bad. But one thing I liked in that lady, whenever there was a concert, every time she used to be present. And we never had to invite. And saying, concert is itself the invitation. And I heard when we were kid, just like women's have now kitty parties, at that time it was like Manasamangal, and then different um, books used to be read by a women, and 20, 30 women from entire locality would come that day. Big parties in the house, and all the males have to go away, so males cannot be there. So my father had to go away, and one day it was happening in our house, and then Manasa was going on, and then I used to hear, uh, "Mama এই আসরে করয় অধিষ্ঠান, হাসি হাসি জিজ্ঞাসিলা কিন্তু বেলায় মনোরে, মামা এই আসরে করয় অধিষ্ঠান." So a part of it is said by the singer, original singer. And here used to have a table, big wooden table, and then used to be kept. And in that, she used to read. And then all women, so it was a women party, and even kids are not allowed. On those days, kids would be taken care of by fathers or somewhere, but they should not enter in the house. It's a totally dangerously women party. I mean, it's a very different environment. When women make parties, their personal parties, it's a very different environment. It's better not for us males to be there. So I used to see, I was allowed because I was looking that they didn't call house to house. It was conch-shell. They used to call, and then conch-shell to conch-shell to conch-shell to conch-shell. So far distant communication was also happening in using conch-shell. But on that day, I learned another thing, that conch-shell was used also as an identity for a women also. So women is also used to carry conch-shell, and they used to also make a sound to call in case she was in trouble and she was looking for some help or support. And on that day, the I mean, in India is not a not a civilization like Europe or Christianity or any other part where civilization ends and new civilization begins. So they write history. Instead, we had these forefathers and then foremothers who used to tell the stories from generation after generation. The history and knowledge used to get. Now it is a status symbol to put our parents in the old home, and shed them. They are the most useful thing of the society. From grandfather to grandchild, the knowledge used to be shared, and they used to get very matured, very matured. My grandfather taught me chess moves. I can't forget. Then I was 2.5 years. That is one of the oldest memories that I have. So on that day, I heard a beautiful story that when Sita Mata was insulted, she called, "Pata, come!" And then soil cracks, and she goes enter. She enters. She played a conch-shell, her conch-shell. Of course, you can say that, okay, Mata Sita was a very upper class lady. She was wife of Rama, so kind of queen. She could carry, um, but common people also used to carry conch-shell, and it was fundamental part of their culture. And you can find lots of, I mean, I'm talking about before BC, and wearing conch bangles, conch rings, and all. Even boys and guys used to wear conch shells, and we are destroying that industry. And why, I don't know. Kushan period bangles that women used to wear, the Mahabharata period bangles, and then all different historical periods, the design of the bangles were very, very different. So if you look at a women's bangle, it was identity not only that she was married or she belonged to this class, it was from which cultural background she is coming from. So uh, the the male also used to have in the ear the ring, you know that, but It was beautiful in 1884 during the excavation in around Delhi. They found that ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, India found that in the Kusana period, the bangles even used to contain the cultural evolution. So it was a beautiful form of art wherein the bangles, in the conch-shell bangles, they used to write it. They used to write the evolution of several events and identity of several events and several cultural background and everything. So you look at the bangle of a woman, it was not the signature of her slavery. It was the signature of her greatness and her historical identity. Therefore, the conch-shell has a history from 3000, 4000, 5000 BC uh, in Harappan to the Kushana period and Mahabharata period, and later on in different periods. Still, 5 million conch-shells are sold, and women's use this in different parts of India. And conch-shell and uluddan by moving the tongue very intricately, and that one was also that had a grammar, just like conch-shell had a grammar, different kind of composition of music. Now I would like to tell you one unique culture that we had in India. My grandmother, Kunjabala Devi, she was given a conch-shell, so from the Himalayas. So Himalayas, the monk who used to do sadhana for years after years and live in the Himalayas, hmm, uh, they used to collect conch shells, Himalayan conch shells, because there was a Tethys Sea. And those conch shells, they used to study, they used to check their sounds and many different ways. Different conch shells have different implications and different message. And very unique kind of this conch shells. They used to bring, and they used to give it. They used to go all around India and used to give to women. They thought that is a holy woman, and that conch shell used to become a a symbol of their family identity of a very particular culture. So this culture existed many years, and still this concept exists in our family. And it goes from the eldest son to eldest son to eldest son, eldest son. My father was the youngest son, so we didn't have it. So concept carried a language, because how you play the console, size of the consoles, you determine the frequency base. It was identity of for a particular human, for especially for women. And conch-shell was a form of art, a lot of art, and the things were written. And the 600 AD Gupta period, it excelled. What I wanted to tell you today, what you didn't know, that even a person like Sita Mata or different women used to carry with the trade and the conch-shell with, and it used, when the person used to die, the conch-shell used to go with that person, but not taken away. And the identity of her will be finished when she will be burnt. Or Hindus also used to um, put it under the soil, preserve the body with the conch and others. That's how we came to know the history from Sanauli. So with that, um, I will come back with one day with the different sounds of mouth apart from the sounds of concepts.